from Shirley Rd Chiropractic, and I'd like to talk today about transverse abdominis and core stability and control. So I thought, given the current environment, I might use something that's actually quite useful to describe this, and this is the inner cardboard from a toilet paper roll, and given that it's 2020, it's quite relevant at the moment. But we're going to use this to describe control of your trunk. So the toilet roll is quite simple. It's a hollow tube, cardboard, but hollow tubes and columns are very strong under compression load. So you can put a lot of compressional force through just a very thin bit of cardboard and you'll actually get no breakage of that cardboard roll. If, however, a cardboard roll has got some damage to it, so it can look normal, but there's actually some creases in it, okay? So we can imagine then that this cardboard roll is not working very well, as it would be the case if your core stability is not working well. So when we put compression force through that cardboard roll, it actually breaks. So if you think of your whole trunk as that cardboard roll holder, you've got the base, the pelvis, and that's going to form the floor of your essential core stability and control. And then we've got the top, which is under the ribs, which is our diaphragm, which has got control there. And then you've got the actual muscles that wrap from the back to the front, okay? They're going to form this nice cylinder. And if we're moving and doing things and that cylinder stays strong, you won't get any damage at all to any of those structures, and particularly of the spine. If, however, that control of that structure actually fails, when you bend and lift and twist, the back, including the discs and the segments, between those vertebral segments, will actually get damaged. So we want to keep that nice and tight and strong. So that's your transverse abdominis layer muscles, and there's the external obliques on top and the internal obliques, and then the third layer, which is that transverse abdominis, which holds it together. If we just look now at the base of that, we also have our pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor muscles basically form the floor underneath the pelvis, and they actually stop our pelvic contents from actually dropping. So these muscles need to be under control. So what we do with these muscles, we can exercise and play with these muscles ourselves and actually contract those muscles and relax those muscles, and contract and relax. So you can be doing those exercises anytime you like. No one really needs to know that you're doing them, because you can control those muscles, contract and relax, contract and relax. It's important to be able to relax them as well. A lot of people hold tension in those muscles and they don't let go, and then you can get pain syndromes develop because of that. So the ability to contract and relax. Then we're going to think of your diaphragm. That diaphragm is really important. It attaches to the front of the vertebral column, and it actually helps with creating that nice solid toilet roll holder around here, because it's the roof of that. So you want to be able to actually breathe using your diaphragm itself. So again, a lot of people will breathe, and we talked about this in the previous one about neck posture, but they'll use their neck muscles to breathe, as opposed to using their diaphragm, so diaphragm breath is going to be nice control. So we think of bucket handles coming out and then coming back in. So bucket handle, breath in, breath out. And so it uses less neck muscles, more diaphragm control. You'll get much more air into your lungs. You'll encourage nasal breathing, which is much better for you as well. So let's look at the muscles of the abdominal wall. We have the more well-known rectus abdominis muscle that runs from the rib cage down to the pubic symphysis at the top through here. Then we have also 3 layers of muscles. We've got our external oblique muscle, our internal oblique just beneath that, and then there's the transverse abdominis muscle. If you have now a look at the section, if you've taken the abdominal contents away, this is now the front of the vertebral column. This is our psoas muscle, our iliacus muscle. But if you have a look here, there are 3 layers of these muscles. So there's your external oblique on the outside, the internal oblique, and then most centrally there is the actual transverse abdominis layer muscle. Have a look also at the dome of the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a beautiful muscle that actually also has its connections onto the front of the vertebral column. So it's an important muscle to actually address in some people with some back discomfort as well. Okay, so how are we going to use our transverse abdominis? How do we get control of those muscles? So you want to lie flat on the couch or on the bed or on the ground. It's easier to have your knees bent, so bend the knees up and just place your hands on either side of your belly button to the outside. And basically, there's a few different ways of teaching it, but you can imagine just drawing in, but that's not sort of precise control. So what you're actually doing, I like to tell people that you're actually drawing in and pushing out at the same time, or blowing up your belly. So it's, imagine you're tensing, but pulling in at the same time. And it's like you can tap there and you're actually not going to, so you're going to feel that resistance, so, and then relax. So we can do a few isometrics, so you can go contract and relax, contract and relax, contract and relax. So imagine someone's going to do that, or push down your tummy and you've got to hold that position there. So just by doing some isometric contractions, holding and relaxing is quite good for that transverse abdominis control. You can then also do a on all fours. In this position here, we go into all fours, and then if you go opposite arm, opposite leg, okay, into this position here, okay, and you can hold that stability there, you'll find those muscles will actually automatically switch on if you've got good control in that position. If you're having trouble in that position, you can go onto your elbows, and you can basically go out like that, okay, or you could actually be in this position and just lift one arm off or one leg off, rather than, so you've got 3 points of contact on the ground to gain actually control of those transverse abdominal muscles. The importance of having good transverse abdominis motor control is that for your discs and your lumbar spine, so if we imagine two vertebrae from the lumbar spine through here, it actually reduces pressure through the disc by having good control of those muscles. Okay, because you're not actually having that break in that cylinder that's actually there. So it is helpful in preventing disc injuries that can cause lots of pain, including sciatica and other nerve pain and syndromes that you can get for that low back. So having good control there is very important. It's also really important, actually, even before you gain core stability exercises and control from that, is to actually do some glute control. So we'll do another segment later about glute max and glute medius motor control, because that's very important to have that stable, so you've got a good strong base to work, so that cylinder can work off the top of a strong base in that lumbar spine and pelvis.